Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson Media, and I'm joined with two of my brothers. That is Barack and Miguda. Barack, how are you doing, sir?
Hi, Brother Ben and Miguda. I'm doing well. And you?
Mhm. How is your Thursday?
My Thursday is going on well.
Hmm.
Apart from the surprise rain here in Nairobi,
Yeah.
nothing much to show off. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Miguda, how about you?
I'm good. I'm doing
Hmm.
very fine, and hope you too, Barak and Benson, are
Yeah.
also managing on the side.
Okay, we are managing well. We cannot complain. And Baraka is talking about the rainy season in Nairobi. Some other areas where we are too, we are experiencing it, but not as such. But hopefully, and we believe things are going to be okay. Today is a Thursday, and we want to look at few political trending news. We usually don't miss out on political news, especially in our homeland. And to begin with, it is I would say that it is a good news because the DCI has arrested the young boy who was disrespecting our flag. And I saw also Kenyans online came out in defense of the Kenyan, flag. Don't joke with Kenyans, Barack. It was banning in the social media. If you don't, we are coming for you. What can you say that about the spirit of Kenyans?
Well, I think on this one, give
Yeah.
it to Kenyans because those young boys they're just playing with fire because you don't do that. And considering the history of Kenya and Somalia,
Hmm.
I think they were ill advised, and I think the action that is taken, it is their right action, so that it sends out a message out there that you don't joke with our sovereignty.
Hmm.
And the unity that Kenyans were showed
Hmm.
when this history state happened,
Hmm.
it was there. It was now that's what we call now patriotism, uh,
Hmm.
where if something comes that affects our country or our sovereignty, we come, we join forces together as Kenyans, and
Yeah.
we confront that issues head on. We put our differences aside at that moment, and after tackling that issue, now we go back to our our
Our
normal problems that we usually deal with each and every day. But the unity speaks volume, and I think that this is how we should be behaving as Kenyans. Anything that undermines our sovereignty, anything that undermines us as a state, anything
Mhm,
that shows disrespect to us, we should
mhm.
always join hands and confront that issues and deal with it. Then after that, then we can go back to our normal differences.
Do you think the when you look at the rage of Kenyans came so much faster than the security apparatus? It's like immediately after the Kenyan coming out in rage, that's when you see like the security apparatus started to be like now being very 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 now starting now to look into this. Do you think that one could have also contributed to them now taking stand action?
Yes, in a democratic society,
Yeah,
public opinion is usually very, very influential in influencing government decisions.
yeah,
And this, I think, when the government saw it, I think they didn't even care about it. I think they just saw, ni watoto wanacheza tu. But now, when public opinion
yeah.
piled pressure, and they said,
Mhm.
if you're not doing this, then we are coming for to do this job for you. So the
Yeah.
government had to come in. And yesterday, you saw it's more comment giving orders to IG ordering the DCI, and today we
Yeah.
are hearing that they've been arrested. So that
Mhm.
public pressure,
Mhm.
as a result of public opinion, is one of the key pillars of democratic society. And
Okay.
you remember
Mhm.
when during Chan, after Kenya lost, we had some fans playing around with Kenyan flag and was stepping on it. Nobody cared about that, and I think it was wrong for them to do that. And now, because this one is now coming up, and I've seen some bloggers are also trying to bring that issue up. Can we
Yeah.
also arrest those Kenyans because they did the same thing as these Somali boys, but
Mhm.
because they are Kenyans, people overlook that. But I think
Mhm.
it is not right for any citizen to
To
disrespect the flag flag of your country.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm seeing Kennedy Sankara on the Facebook page saying that those boys should face justice at Kasarani this weekend. Tuned in the show. Thank you so much. So many people have like different views. Thank you so much, Sankara. Miguda, maybe if you can weigh in, then we can also look at some other trending news before we go into the main discussion of today.
I just want to point one thing
Yeah.
out of all the events.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I liked about that incident is that
Mm-hmm.
an order was given by CS Internal Security to IG.
Mm-hmm.
IG gave an order. Sorry. And I want to quote IG. IG was very clear. And I like what IG said
Mm-hmm.
is ordering DCI to arrest them, then they should be brought before a court of law, then charged. That's how it should be. And that's now what we call now the due process. There was
Yes.
no issue of arresting and killing or
Yes.
killing. No,
Mm-hmm.
you arrest and charge.
Yes.
That's now you enjoy your rights because
Mm-hmm.
you are being charged in the court of law. But even that court of law doesn't mean that they are going to be killed or caned or punished. There are consequences. They can be penalized, maybe to pay a certain cash or bond. You understand?
Yes.
So that's how we develop our laws. That's what
Mm-hmm.
makes me happy. That an IG can give an order decide to arrest and charge in a court of law. Not
Mm-hmm.
those things we have come from whereby if you do anything, because we can say maybe because there is no ignorance is no defense in court, so we
Yes.
can assume they never knew, but because they have committed it, they have to face the law. But the
Mm-hmm.
good part is that instruction by IG to DCI to it was very clear: arrest them and take them to court. So we should learn from that instead that it is not about killing somebody, or it should be a court process. And the court process is not something that it should threaten you. You have a
Mm-hmm.
right to appear in court, and at court give you avenue whereby you express your opinion in a manner that can
Okay.
be accommodated. And lastly, we have talked about the issue of public opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I want to agree that in a democratic society like ours,
Yeah.
public opinion, public interest, public participation, those three are
Yeah.
very, very vital to shape our democracy, because if there is public participation, members of the public have interest, or there is public opinion, it
Mm-hmm.
should be taken seriously because it influences our decision making in governance.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Barak. Mr. Barak and Meguda, thank you so much for your opinion on that. And there's something that we need to talk about, and I want you just to get your view on it. Remember during the protest of the Gen Z, when President William Ruto was uh, dismantling, or he was relieving his cabinet secretary out of duty. Among other things that the president agreed was lack of communication in his government. And indeed, me and you agree that at some point, we usually see lack of coordinated communication, because you can find Isaac Mwaura speaking differently, maybe Hussein Mohammed also might be speaking different, and other communication from our executive usually comes out with different information, speaking of one thing. And the reason why I'm bringing this, there's one of our heroes who was in Haiti, and there were rumors earlier that the the soldier had died in the hands of Haiti. And the family did not get clear answer, even clear indication. But yesterday, the other day, when President was at UN, he mentioned the name of one of those soldiers that had died, without family knowing. Like the family were getting to get the first-hand information, especially from the government, from the president, at the international platform. Um, on a normal circumstances, or on a normal way, when such like incidents happen, what is the right way in which you can let the family know that this is what is happening rather than coming and knowing it, especially the first-hand information on the international level or on the social media? Mr. Barrett.
Well, I think, Brother Ben, this is very unfortunate, and it has been the main undoing of this government.
Yeah.
And remember, we've said here many times that this is the first government in this country to have three spokespeople, because we have the Mwaura as the government spokesperson, and he has two deputies. That is Muduma and that Mgatana's wife. So there are three government spokespeople, and there is no information that they are relying from the government to the public, which is very unfortunate.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you know, lack of information is opens room for speculation, and speculations opens room for propaganda, and so and so and so forth. In the midst of all this, you find that there is no clarity of what is really happening.
Mhm.
Now, normally, the best practice world over is that if a government official, or if security agencies, these men that go to represent the country overseas, maybe peacekeeping mission, or the Haiti mission,
Mhm.
if a country loses one of its soldiers, the president is informed. Then, after the president is informed, he directs his aide to reach out to the family. Then the family is informed. So, and this is done before this issue goes public, so that by the time the death of this soldier is public, the family had already been informed and they are aware of it. Now,
Mhm.
in the absence of this kind of information, structure of information,
Yeah.
then it shows some kind of disrespect even to the family of the deceased, and that is why the family had gone to court to to take the family had gone to court to taken the government to court for the government to produce information on the whereabout of their kin, because it is the government that of Kenya that sent that gentleman to Haiti. He did not go there on his own. He did not go there on his own volition. It is the
Mhm.
government that took him there. So, in case of anything, it is the government of Kenya that should be liable for
Mhm.
anything. Therefore, it was very unfortunate to hear the president revealing this information at the United Nations in New York, and the president left this country after so many months. The families of this soldier has been asking questions. Where is our kin? How come the
Mhm.
government is not telling us anything? The government has been denying consistently that the
Okay.
guy is not dead. Yeah,
Mhm.
he was abducted, or he was kidnapped.
Mhm.
But now they've never came out clearly to say that now we have information that the guy has passed on. Now the president is breaking this news, and the family that he left here in Kenya is watching him on TV, speaking to strangers, foreigners, about the death of their kin. It's
Okay.
unfortunate, it's uncalled for, and I think this government is not learning anything from communication. And that is why you see even so many government projects, Kenyans are not aware of how they are happening, because there is no clarity of information that is flowing from the government to the
Mhm.
citizens.
The citizens, yeah. So do you think that is the main that could be the main reason why, even if to say that government is carrying out any project or government is coming with something that is quite much important, but yet you find like the people, especially the citizen, are not giving it a very keen interest or a keen look, and like saa zingine wanachukua tu kama ni stories za jaba.
Yeah, because because there is absence of clear information. Even information,
Mhm.
kuna hiyo protocol ambayo inafuatwa.
Mhm.
Kuna hiyo
Yeah.
top down communication where it comes from above and then inakuja hivyo. So imagine listening to people speaking about, for example, if you take an example of SHA,
Yeah.
how many government officials have been talking about SHA, how SHA is working? Because SHA is under the Ministry of Health.
Mhm.
So it is Duale who should be communicating information about SHA
Mhm.
and the government spokesperson. But you will hear other cabinet secretary talking about it. You will hear members of parliament that support Ruto talking about it. You will hear even I don't know this directors, this civil. So you find that in the midst of all this, we
Yeah.
are losing it because politicians, when they start commenting on an issue, they politicize it,
Mhm.
and then clarity of there will be no clarity of information. Yeah, so they will treat it as a political issue. And that is why Kenyans are not aware. This issue, for example, SHA and affordable housing, where Kenyans are being taxed extra since Ruto came into power,
Mhm.
Kenyans have not been informed clearly of
Mhm.
why they are being overtaxed and why these things are working or they are not working. Remember the issue of affordable housing.
Mhm.
They started saying it is not it is not a tax. I don't know. The people will be refunded their money once they retire.
Mhm.
Kukaa kidogo, it is now a tax. Kukaa kidogo,
Mhm.
now houses are being allocated according to how president wishes. The other
See.
day he said he will give footballers. The other day he said kukaa kidogo akasema, oh, I will give teachers and policemen.
Yeah.
So why? What is really happening? And who is the minister in charge? Why is it that even the government spokesperson is not gathering information so that he can come to the public and inform the public? Because people are paying taxes to this government,
Mhm.
they are entitled to know what is happening within this government. It is their right. Yeah,
Mhm.
you know, information is a right. You
Mhm.
have a right for information. So when the government is not informing us, and
Yeah.
misinforming us, or lack of informing us is
Yeah.
violating our right to know. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So they should come out and tell us. And because I think if you remember, even Ruto came out publicly during that the demonstration, and he said that they have not his government has not been really doing well in terms
Yeah.
of informing the
Communication.
public. But what
Mhm.
did he do that? What did he do about it? After that, he did nothing because the situation is still the same. If it has not moved from bad to worse.
Before I invite me, good. It is. I agree with you, especially when it comes to information. And information does not only mean that how it is being communicated, but it's also how it's being fed to the right source, especially those who are giving president briefings on what is happening. They should always make sure that they give the president the right information so that even when president comes into the public, the president should have facts while talking. Remember, even immediately after the Gen Z protest, where the president was having this interview with the journalist from, I think it was Citizen, Linus Kaikai, Joe Ageo, remember that interview? When he was asked about the young boy, and he was not even aware that the boy had already died. Do you remember the boy who was shot? Was it in Rongai or somewhere with some,
Yeah,
and
Rongai.
yeah, Rongai. The president was not even aware. You know, from the interview alone would tell you that the president was not even aware. Talking about Shah, it was just the other day, not very too long ago, when Isaac Mwaura was in one of the vernacular radio station, and there's something that he spoke, and Moses Kuria had to come out and say that I need to have time so that I can explain to him on how the deductions are being done. So when now such like mixed reactions is given to the public, even like this somebody who should be a spokesperson to the government, he's not getting it right. It does not look very good on the government side. And now again, what we are seeing on the international platform, because losing a loved one is something that is very painful. If it could have been like president was briefed, then the relevant departments who are given that opportunity to let the family know that okay, this is what is happening. Often in normal circumstances, we've always seen that before anybody goes on air, even in the developed country, they will always make sure that they have the full information of the people who are victim of such circumstances. The family are reached, and now the government spokesperson or relevant authorities goes on air, they go out with facts, and the family knowing very well that okay, it's going to be done, offering them mental counseling. Look at now these parents where they are, that old mother, emotionally she's drained, and how are you going to convince her? Because from the look of things, it means that even the body of that slain officer is not here in the country. They've not seen the body from the way now if we disclosed, so I think, like, just to say that the government should find a way of how improve on their communication, on how they relate with the public. It will do them good. That is what I think. Be good, maybe if you can give one or two on that.
When it comes to communication, particularly from the president's side, I still have issue because personally, there is a communication team that is employed to do so. That's their duty. And the president should not be misinformed. And that's why the other day he was bragging that he receives raw intelligence. So actually, he receives raw intelligence. And I believe that he's privy to information, particularly the issues like those are what we call security matters. The security matters is the first person to be briefed. Remember, even when Gola died, when it was confirmed by the rescue team on the ground that the general is gone, they first rang the CS defense to inform Mr. President. So Mr. President knew it immediately. It happened that, and it was in I think it was a what festival music, whatever. Then according to protocol,
Yeah.
the president is not allowed to pick any call during any event. That's why he usually at bay with the phone. But he was forced to pick that phone because he was told that the subject of the call was the CS for defense, CDF. So that was the subject of the call. So he was like, CDF? So he had to pick. So he knew that Ola died.
Yeah.
And when people in Haiti, anything that has happened, he receives raw intelligence as it is. So
Yeah.
when even the people who died, like the kid you have cited, to me, I don't want to say maybe the communication team has failed him. I don't can be used as a scapegoat. What is then the protocol that the first person to receive any intelligence, most of the matter of security, is the president? Maybe sometimes I can say he's busy or he's too busy to consume those intelligence. That's why whenever he's not brief in the proper time, he end up in an interview not having the facts, but the information are there. So it's
Yeah.
up to him to schedule the time, be
Mhm.
briefed in prior. What used to happen to Uhuru? Uhuru used to get briefings every morning before he started his duties. At least every morning. So you need to be brief on a. I think it should be on a sequence. On a sequence, maybe after 4 hours, you need to be brief. So I think not that there is no fact. There are facts and information are there, but now I think now maybe I can just say maybe, not that I'm certain. He's too busy to consume such information. And that's why whenever he's caught on an interview, he doesn't give the factual information to the public.
All right. That's fair enough. But like, this was this is very, very, very this is very sensitive information, especially when it comes to rescue team. Those are very sensitive. And remember, at some point it surfaced on the internet. Remember, during, I don't know which, some it surfaced at some point, and it later vanished on the social media, but now is there. So now the family now know what has happened. So it is upon now the government now to start offering them counseling for them to come in terms with the reality, even after even going to courts to find out whether their skin is still alive. So well, those are just, by the way, some of the things that are making headline, but something that we are not going to talk about. Museveni is running again. He has been declared by the election board of Uganda to run again, and then Museveni has been running. This is the he has been running for the 44 decade. He has ruled that country for almost 45 years. And from his speech, he was said that he was only running, that the Ugandan should give him only one chance. This is the last time he's running. And we are asking, for the last 45 years, what are you going to do, which you've not done? Anyway, the Ugandans have the opportunity to elect whoever they want, but like I still doubt whether his last journey will bring more change to Uganda. It's still going to be the same. Thank you so much, gentlemen, and let's today focus our talks, especially our conversation, about what is happening. Kalonzo Musyoka was invited by the Right Honorable Prime Minister for ODM at 20 anniversary that is going to take place in Mombasa between 10th to 12th, I think so. And from all indication, it's going to be a very, very, very big event. And everybody who has been in ODM during when ODM was started, the old journey, including Mr. President, might also be there or will be there. So now Kalonzo say he rejects that. He's not going to be part of that celebration. And he said that 10th, when that ODM will be celebrating, you will be having also the delegates meeting of his political party, Mr. Barak. Do you think Kalonzo is very right on declining the invitation of the Right Honorable Prime Minister? Is Mr. Barak there?
Yes. Hii ya Kalonzo ni wivu tu, hakuna kitu ingine.
Unasema ni wivu kwa nini?
You know, he was there when they were ODM was being formed.
Mm-hmm.
He was among the founders,
Mm-hmm.
and you know the history of Kalonzo and the ODM during that time.
Yeah.
Between 2005 and 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the role that he played
Mm-hmm.
in fueling the post-election violence of 2007.
Mm-hmm.
It is because he ran away with ODM Kenya, the party that they were together with Raila Odinga and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And because he didn't agree with the nomination rules. And since Dan Maanzu was the chair of ODM Kenya then,
Mm-hmm.
he was the one who was the custodian of the certificate of the party.
Yeah.
So they decided to take off with ODM Kenya and left Raila stranded with his supporters on on which party to vie for.
Mm-hmm.
And that is when now, there was that lawyer from, I don't know if it was called Mugambi, sometime Mugambi Manya or something.
Gitobu.
Who had registered the ODM.
Mm-hmm.
This now ODM he registered, you know, when ODM became a movement in 2005, the referendum,
Mm-hmm.
the guy went to the digital political party, registered the party and kept the certificate. So when ODM now decided now to register, they were told, no, that name has already been taken. So they had to come up with ODM Kenya with an orange and a half because the guy had already registered with only one orange.
Mm-hmm.
So when Kalonzo took off, it is Ruto, by the way, who went for that lawyer. Akaambia Raila, wacha tutafute ule jamaa alikuwa ameregister the original party.
Mm-hmm.
Wakampanga na akawapatia chama.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how Raila now found a home. And now they went to the election with ODM belonging to Raila and ODM Kenya belonging to Kalonzo Musyoka. And after that, you know what happened, and the country went up on flames. Now, I think he might be feeling guilty because of that, of the confusion that he caused during that, because now this celebration is associated with the formation of ODM. Yeah, and he knows how they started, and how he caused a confusion, and how the country ended up in a post-election violence. So he's feeling guilty because I know when he went during this celebration, I know they will give the history of ODM. I am sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The history will be given. And you know, when history is not favoring you, it's not always very good to listen to it, because I know they will narrate how ODM was formed and how things happened since 2005 up to now. So Kalonzo will not be comfortable with the history of ODM from 205 up to 207. Yeah.
But Barak, you know, like that history, everybody knows it. So like it is something that has always been in the public domain. Each and every political year, people keep on mention that just in case if Kalonzo does not want to cooperate. But now, is it something that now maybe majority of people are used to it, and that one could not make him not to attend? Or
People talk about it, but not in his presence. You know, when dignitaries are gathered, and now maybe someone has been called upon now to tell us the journey of ODM. Now you are seated there. How will you feel? And you know, you were part of the problem that this party faced during its initial stages. So that is just one way of looking at it.
Okay.
Or another way of looking at it, like this ODM Kenya, it's where now Raila and Kalonzo and his people were. And now when he took off with ODM Kenya, ODM Raila and Ruto went and looked for this guy of ODM. Now, look at the journey. ODM Kenya went on and Kalonzo changed it to Wiper Democratic Movement. Now it is now Wiper Democratic, I don't know, Wiper Patriotic Front, something like that.
Wiper Patriotic Front, yes.
And look at the growth. Look at the journey of 20 years. Because these two parties are 20 years old. Look at the journey of the Kalonzo's ODM and look at the journey of Raila's ODM.
Yeah.
Ile ingine hata ilienda ikakufa, people forgot about it because wapi ilikuja ikakuwa introduced, they even changed the colors and the symbols and na ikaenda hivyo.
Yeah.
So the ODM that the group that he rejected, you see, it has it has weathered the storms, it has been resilient, and it is standing up as one of the strongest parties in Kenya in terms of looking at the duration that has been there. Because if you look at the parties that were there in 2005, or let's say in 2007, the first election that ODM went as a party, how many political parties are still there? And how many of them are strong the way ODM is? So sometimes you look at it's like you know these guys are human beings. You look at an example of someone of your classmate that you went to school with and you graduated the same year and you got a job the same time, the same company. Now look at now after 20 years, you now compare. Mnaitwa mahali msema okay, now look at evaluate these two. What is the progress of A and B? Because you graduate the same time, you got a job the same time, the same company, same salary. So now you look at this because these guys, they started this journey together, they split the same time, the growth has been there. So you can see huyu mwingine alienda hivi, huyu mwingine ameenda hivi. So those are the things that can make someone to be uncomfortable being associated with you. And now anasema watakuwa na, I heard him saying that they will be having a delegates conference. You can see sibling rivalry, yeah, because he will want to show these people that I don't want to associate myself with that side, and he has been there with him until the other day. So I think if I were an advisor of Kalonzo, I would advise him to go there because number one, even Raila supporter, that we have those who still admire him, yeah, and the fact that they are not in the same political camp right now, that but you know how he behaves will make those people to hate him because what is wrong with this guy? It's just a celebration. Even Uhuru, I know he was a founder, he has been invited. Ruto was a founder, he has been invited. The likes of Balala, tukumbuka Balala alikosana Raila kitambo, he has been invited because he's looking at the founding. And I remember it is Najib Balala who came up with this the Orange Democratic Movement Kisumu pale wakiwa kwa rally ya mwisho ya Western Kenya pale Kisumu. He's the one who said from today we are announcing Orange Democratic Movement. Yeah. So these people, they played a critical role in the formation of this party. So going there, and it's like Maitana, old boys of a certain school. Yeah?
Okay.
So I think it could have been a good political move just to go there and even just do what we call a technical appearance. But we are together because you don't know about tomorrow. And Kenyan politics is very dynamic.
Mm.
And I think Raila, since Kalonzo has supported him thrice,
Yeah.
I think we have some supporters of him who are lenient to Kalonzo. But Akiendelea could behave, I think he was going to lose those supporters. And I'm not sure wherever he is gaining much support as a result of rejecting this invitation.
Okay, thank you so much. And you can also look at the political temperature currently, knowing very well that Kalonzo is in opposition, working with Rigathi Gachagua and Eugene Wamala and other leaders. And if you listen to interview that even Kalonzo had with Sam Gituko, there's so many things that Kalonzo really has talked about. One of them being the recent one, going through interview when they were looking for the running mate for Raila Amolo Odinga. But the interview that they were going through was a formality, was like a stage managed interview, because they wanted to make the public know that this was something that was free and fair, so that they can consolidate the votes. But in the real sense, the other time when he was at Ikonini podcast, he talked about how the Right Honorable Prime Minister and Juliet visited him and told him the whole arrangement that was happening. And he said that he swallowed the pride, even though he felt he was humiliated, but he went through. Can we also look at those and say that, okay, uh, Kalonzo has done his best, especially to support Raila Odinga for the last 15 years. They've been with him for the long, and also he feel betrayed. So he feel that this is the time that I want to give a new look of Kalonzo Musyoka, especially with the doubts that the watermelon that usually comes, especially when you talking about him, Mr. Miguda. What do you think?
Okay, first I want to say that from the current events in the country, Kalonzo has supported Raila, like we have said, thrice. And having supported Raila thrice, to me, he said that he has spared sizable time of his life to support Raila. And whether he said or not, he has supported him. That's what we have in history. He has did it.
Mm-hmm.
Mixing this event to me will not erase the fact that he has supported Raila. Still, he has supported Raila still, because even if he skips or he goes there, the facts are there. He has supported Raila thrice. And going there to me, by supporting Raila, he won the hearts of many supporters from Raila base. And that's why before broad-based government, people are very clear that 2020, in fact, when Ruto was declared the president, people were very clear that 2027 ni wakati wa Kalonzo. That's what people are saying. Do Kalonzo brought 1 million kura to Raila almost. Hey, Kalonzo has done a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Kalonzo, we will remember you in 2027 during elections. That was the song. I remember when Raila was going to AUC, he was moving across the Nyanza. You saw him moving across the Nyanza saying that, and people were embracing him. By him skipping the event will not erase the good things he has done to Raila.
Mm-hmm.
He has done to Raila. So whether he skips or not. So going there to me, one, even as I speak to you right now, there are some supporters who believes in Kalonzo to be the favorite among the people. Raila could also, Raila is so a human being. He said Kibaki Tosha. What can make you not to say Kalonzo Tosha? Because based on the circumstances, if he bolts out, right now, that's the issue of bolting out is popular in the country. Now I've been moving across with the matatu. People are saying, mzee ni kama anatoka. It's very popular. So if he bolts out, who can he support? Ni Kalonzo too. So I think sometimes, no, my point is just very clear about, I just have one point that skipping an event will not erase the good things he has done to Raila.
Mm. But do you think like this event could have been a perfect opportunity for Kalonzo Musyoka, especially to call out Raila and telling that, okay, look at the history of ODM and how rich we built this party and how we've always worked in towards geared toward democracy. But the step that you've taken, especially with the current government, is not one of the wisest for me, especially, and that one we'll find when Ruto is there and the Right Honorable Prime Minister is there, like talking about that in their presence. That one would say that he's a bold kind of like a politician who could talk in the presence of the two. Could that one also could have used that platform, especially to air those views and make it like tell them the truth at that moment because they will be there. Perfect platform.
Yes, you have just answered the question by asking the question. You have just answered it very clearly. So I just want to say that that's what I'm saying. It will not erase the good things he has done to Raila. And also, is a way, by skipping it, by going there, will make him more comfortable to explain to Raila that, bro, even if I have my mistakes in the past, but I paid you by supporting thrice. So I was good to you, even if I did my mistakes. So it was a perfect match to me. But skipping it is now going not to be to appear, it's going to appear like there was no good thing he did to Raila. So to me, I can just say he should not skip it. It's a very broader platform to allow him to air the good things he has done to Raila, even though he has betrayed him before. So he has
Okay.
been a gentleman enough to support him. So I think the question is very well explained.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Barak, if you look at the political terrain, especially what we are having right now, let's say, for instance, President William Ruto was not going to attend it. Do you think Kalonzo could have, maybe he's missing on this because he doesn't want to have that platform with President William Ruto at this particular moment in time?
Hello, brother Ben. Please come again, please.
I'm asking, looking at the political status right now, especially with Kalonzo Musyoka, because maybe he doesn't want to meet the president, you know. So if the president could have been missing, he could have attended.
Yeah, Kalonzo is someone who is he's banking on what we call Gen Z. If you listen to how he speaks, yeah, Kalonzo cannot speak a sentence without mentioning Gen Z in that statement. And I think someone advised him that he should just stay away from Raila and Ruto, and maybe Gen Z will make him the president come 2027. That is what is banking on. So I think even since he believes that people hate ODM and Ruto so much, is because of this broad-based government.
Yeah.
So staying away from it is the only way that he can become the president. However, I think the same person is not telling him that he does not represent the future; he represents the past. Because if we really need to transform this country, I don't think if Kalonzo really represents any transformation at all, because he's part and parcel of the past that we are trying to rectify. He was the vice president of Kibaki for 5 years. He joined government in 1985. He has been there in the system, in Nyayo era, Kibaki era, until 2013, when Kibaki went home. That is when now he started now testing what opposition is all about. So I don't think if we really represent anything that can stand for this future. So I think it is just that imagination that Gen Zs are hanging somewhere. They're just looking for someone to support, and that person must be someone who has distanced themselves from the broad-based government, and specifically from Ruto and Raila. So that's why he's trying so much to avoid anywhere where they can come in contact with these two.
Okay. So and talking about the Gen Z, because like you know, this is a voting bloc that we've always talked about, And the same Gen Z that we are speaking about, there are those who are allied to Kalonzo Musyoka, there are those who are allied to the Right Honorable Prime Minister, there are those who are allied to President William Ruto too, and there are those who are still undecided. They're still looking for who they're supposed to vote. There are those also allied to Okiya Mtata and all that. Almost every particular presidential candidate, call out every leader, they have Gen Z. That is quite a number of Gen Z that are supporting them based on their political view. So if he banks on them, can he maybe have like a percentage of saying that, okay, out of 100%, maybe even 30% are supporting me, or they might be having that.
I think that is a mathematics that they are not having right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they reason like that, they will realize that they hardly, whatever they have is a handful. Because you know, Gen Z is a constituency that I think most of them are going to start registering once the IBC declare that maybe from 29th they are
Mm.
going to start registering new voters and
Yeah.
encourage the young people who have never voted, who have never registered, to come out and register. That is
Mm.
the constituency. Now, these people are found across the country. They are allied to different politicians, the way you just mentioned. Now, you can try to equate that support that they have for each individual with the general support that they usually have, because there's nothing is going to change in terms of who is supporting who, which constituency supports who. Yeah.
Yep.
And you know, the same Gen Z are the one that the Chief Justice Emeritus is backing on.
Yeah.
The same Gen Z is what Boniface Mwangi is banking on. The same, so Gen Z is is what we call you remember Scramble for Africa,
Yeah.
where everybody is seeing something that, and they want to at least to share. So you find that at the end of the day,
Mm.
these votes are going to be scattered across the candidates who are going to vie,
Mm.
because as we stand now, there is no candidate
Mhm.
who is a Gen Z candidate.
Okay.
They
Yes.
can't, even the Gen Z, they don't have their leader of their own.
Mhm.
So it is not something that you can bank on if you are a serious presidential candidate. Yeah,
Mhm.
you must have at least a tangible constituency that you are sure it is yours.
Yeah.
Then you will try to persuade them by trying to include people who are younger in your campaign team, and even giving them uh, direct nominations just to encourage them that now you are with them. Yeah, you see what ODM has done in Kasipul. You will hear them bragging about it. Now we are trying to include Gen Z in our party, to giving them elective positions, yeah, so that
Mhm.
they can also feel they are part of the party. You see
Mhm.
how they are trying to keep Kasmuel Makaure busy, sending him abroad to go here represent us, go there represent us, so that they can also, people who are his peers will see that this party is now giving us a platform
A
also
platform. Yes.
to try to develop our leadership skills and
Mhm.
try to grow within the party structures. So it is not just about imagining, thinking that they are somewhere, they are waiting for me to vie so that they can vote for me. That one
Mhm.
you are going to fail. That's why you see even Gashago. Gashago is not banking on Gen Z. He just building his capacity using his
Yeah.
own community so that he can also have a constituency that he's sure of. So that even if Gen Z votes come, that will just be like a surplus.
A surplus. Yeah. And maybe just before I invite in Miguda, of late, if to say, um, Kalonzo Musyoka, people have viewed him as one of the wild cards that each and every politician is hanging on. Like it's like they have this card that might tilt any tilt the results of election depending from or depending on which side is he supporting, especially when he goes to president, when president he goes to side of the president or he stays with the opposition. He's like it's holding that crucial role because of late, even yes, the other day you saw he said that president was actually using some of the clergymen to woo him to his side. And Rigathi Gachagua also says that if you want to come to Kalonzo, you have to come through me. So that one is giving his uh, red card, political red card, to be high, so that when the political transfer window will be announced or will be taking place, yeah, so he can go to any side. So that value, do you think that's why, like, sometimes he might be speaking with confidence and said, I'm not going, because he knows that the arrangement that we have right now, he stand a chance to tilt the result of election depending from which side he will be supporting.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it.
And
But now the question is, uh, what is his, what are his chances of becoming the president in this country? I think those chances are almost zero right now
Mm-hmm.
because of how he has been positioning himself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, by playing hard right now, will that make him the president 2027 or 2032?
Mm-hmm.
The answer is you can guess, and your guess is as good as mine.
Mm-hmm.
Because the chances of Kalonzo becoming the president are gone. Because if we have the incumbent who is going to defend his seats within the opposition, within the united opposition, Kalonzo is not among the preferred candidates. Because you will hear people talking about Matiang'i, people talking about, and regarding saying that he's going alone. And even in those matrix, the reason why people are mentioning Matiang'i within the united opposition, it is because they believe that Kalonzo does not represent the future; he represents the past. And that's why he has not been featured numerously when they are talking about a candidate. That's why they will even mention people like Natembeya and forget that Kalonzo is one of the senior most politicians there. So he's playing hard to gain what as an individual. If it's to make somebody else the president, then that might work because he has a sizable numbers that will help a candidate to gain 50 plus 1%, which is a good thing. Because this 50 plus 1% rule is making serious candidates to try as much as they can to draw people on their side, because so that they will not go to the second round. But because I don't see, and now looking at the position that he can get, right, can also have served up to the vice president, which means he has been to he has the only thing that he has not been is the presidency. Now, are okay in Ruto's side, Ruto obviously is the candidate. You cannot come there and expect to be given the candidates. Now, on the united opposition, are they willing to make him the candidate so that they can front him against Ruto? If they are willing to do that, then I think it is good for him to stick there, because that will be something that has never happened to him in his
Yeah.
political career, having a united opposition backing him as their candidate. If that is
Yeah.
what will happen, then I think I support Kalonzo 100% to stay firm within the opposition. But if that is not going to happen, then what are his chances? His chances are come and
Slim.
work with the government. That is what we call a soft landing. Yeah, because within the government, I think even if you look at in terms of regional balance,
Yeah.
he can come to Ruto and even bargain to be made a running mate because of regional balance. Because
True.
people are talking about Ruto comes from western parts of Kenya, so Mudavadi cannot be his running mate, and even people talking about Gladys Wanga. I don't know who, if they know DM, because that is also part of Western Kenya. But Kalonzo is coming from Eastern, and Kalonzo and Kindiki. Kindiki is coming from Upper Eastern, Kalonzo is coming from Lower Eastern. So all of them are coming from Eastern. So playing with a political, and Kalonzo has a sizable political support compared to Kindiki. Because Kindiki, apart from Tharaka, where he's coming from, I don't think he has any support outside Tharaka. But Kalonzo, you can find that he has a good support compared to Kindiki. So he can come to Ruto's side and even negotiate for the deputy presidency. But within the united opposition, apart from being, if they cannot make him their candidate,
Yeah.
then I don't think there's anything tangible for him. Because if they made him deputy, if they make him a running mate, and he has been a running mate twice. The
Yeah.
other time he was proposed, he was promised a chief cabinet secretary,
Which
which
is
is
not
not.
existing.
So I think
Yeah.
if he can play as smart as a politician, he
Mm-hmm.
should look into those factors.
Okay.
Because after 2027, in 2032, we will have a new crop of leadership emerging that will wipe away all these people we are mentioning right now and send them to home with Ruto. So because I think a new crop of leadership will emerge, people who will be ready to take up the presidency and drive the wheels of this country forward.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me, Miguda, thank you so much. Let me also invite you. Then we can talk a bit of the polls that yesterday were given by the Tiffa, and what does this one mean, especially for these big political parties past 2027. 2027, they might be having an influence because their influence cannot just shed away immediately, but it is something that is very gradual. But let me come to know the Miguda, your thought, especially you're looking at Kalonzo Musyoka declining to join the Right Honorable Prime Minister. And it is also coming with a history of being somebody that usually makes very late decisions. If you look at how he has always operated in his politics, he has always with that sort of alert kama, especially when it comes to decision. That is one. Then secondly, you're looking at his history, especially on like people kigeugeu, yani ni mtu ambaye hana msimamo. So like this one not declining means that he wants to convince especially the supporters of opposition who kind of like does not believe in the administration of President William Ruto that I cannot join where President William Ruto is, so I has to stand with the history of the country. Can that one also play a part? He wants to convince the voters that he's no longer that person that people were thinking that, okay, um you know I'm not like you said that watermelon, and also to make sure that the public have him, to the opposition. Miguda is okay. Barak, maybe I think like Miguda, the internet is not very, very, very. I think he has a problem with the internet. So Barak, let's change gears a little bit and talk about the Tiffa. You've seen how the survey yesterday gave out the figures, and if you look at the figures, especially that came from Tiffa, so that the majority of people do not believe on the broad-based government, and they believe that the broad-based government is only supporting the politicians. They are the people who are benefiting from that. Even if you look at the popularity of political parties, even though Jubilee still, I mean, like UDA still remain as the most popular, but with less percentage. Even ODM has declined, especially in its popularity. What does this one mean, especially in 2027 and going past 2027 to begin with?
Well, I think in terms of the popularity of political parties, it is true their fortune have been dwindling for some time, especially UDA. When UDA, when DCP, when regarding left and formed DCP, his support has eaten into the UDA support. And it's like now UDA gave birth to another party. So you divide that support, and you find that whatever DCP is getting, it is what initially was with the UDA.
Yeah.
And ODM, because of this working arrangement between ODM and UDA, some people have not taken it positively, and others have really taken it very well. So those who have not taken it lightly, I think those are the people that are now affecting the popularity of ODM,
Yeah.
because they are not comfortable with the working arrangement between ODM and the UDA.
Yeah.
And that is why you see even their popularity is being affected, even though nobody has defected from ODM and started a different political party. But they are just the same members who are there. But in terms of now public support, because of the perception that people have with this government, and that is why you see their popularity is being affected by that. But in terms of support for the broad-based government, I think it depends with the perception that people have,
Yeah.
because most government normally benefits politicians. Even if you look at since independence, I don't know which government benefited the common mwananchi. If you look at each government that comes, they benefit politicians and those who are close to those politicians. Because even if you look at how contracts have been awarded, how tendering process is done, how procurement is done, it benefits political elites and their cronies, not the common mwananchi. So people will argue that, oh, the government are supposed to do ABCD so that you can also benefit. But you look at now, if you look at the bigger picture,
Yeah.
the beneficiaries of most of these African governments, especially let me just focus on Kenya,
Yeah.
are the political elites and their cronies. And that is why you see that just take an example of Ruto. When Ruto was campaigning, he was
Mm.
very, very fired against the then president Uhuru Kenyatta. And they were
Yeah.
talking about state capture. They are talking about how the family of Kenyatta has really captured the economy of Kenya. There's so many things. And they were threatening even to open an inquiry into state capture in Kenya. And they were threatening
Mm.
to expose those who have captured the Kenyan economy.
Yeah.
But now look at now when he became the president, what happened? Right now,
Mm.
they are bad is because of what? Because the government is
Mhm.
benefiting those political players.
Yeah.
Kenyan politics is elite driven, yeah, and it
Mm.
is meant to benefit the political elites and those who are very close to them, those of their cronies. So if you are
Mm.
a friend of a politician, once they get into power, you will benefit. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter where you come from, whether the president is a Kikuyu and you are a Luo. I can
Mm.
assure you, if you are close to them, you will benefit. But if you are very far away from them,
Mm.
you will just be seeing them running around with sirens, but you
Yeah.
will not be feeling the impact. And that's why you see that when we are saying that economy is very hard, that we are
Mhm.
living a very under tough economic times,
Mhm.
we have people who are allied to these politicians who are building apartments within the CBD, within Nairobi. If you go to
Mm.
Upper Hill, go to Westland, go to Kilimani,
Yeah.
people are building modern structures. And at the same time, we have people who have nothing even to put on the table. So it
Mm.
shows you the disparity between those who are aligned to the political elites and those who
Mm.
are the common wananchi.
Okay, maybe before I invite in Miguda, if you look at what the Tiffa was showing, especially support for BBI and those who oppose the BBI, you look at the opposition for BBI, apart from only the hometown of the president, that's when you find that the BBI is quite much popular and maybe a part of you know, you look at, and in all the counties, on all the provinces, you find that the margins are even higher. So which means if election were kind of like held today, it means that both the President William Ruto and the Right Honorable Prime Minister, their side would not perform well as compared to that which is held by opposition based on the Tiffa polls. Is this something that awakening up call, especially for the two leaders to start finding a way on how to popularize the BBI? That is one. Can this one also be used to gauge the reason why each and every time when the Right Honorable Prime Minister get on a public forum to speak to the nation, he keeps on explaining to the public the reason why he joined the government based on the polls now? Hello, Mr. Barat. I
Oh,
lost
I
Barat.
thought I thought that was for me good.
That's all for you.
I think you know, our politicians don't take these things seriously because if you look at even the sample size that was taken, I don't know if they're talking about what normally they usually talk about 1,200 and something.
Yeah.
So because you know in Kenya opinion polls have never predicted the right results when it comes to elections,
Yeah.
because you'll see Raila being ahead opinion polls, then towards election day he's defeated.
Mm.
So I think in terms of predicting the accurate result for election, we still have a lot of work to do. I think because of normally the margin of error, or maybe it is done deliberately. You know,
Mm.
sometimes even opinion polls can be manipulated
Mhm.
because of the the samples that you are taking. Because if you take a sample that is not balanced, it will not bring out it will not reflect on the feeling, or
Oh.
it will not represent the reality on the ground.
Mhm.
So I think the broad-based brothers,
Mhm.
they have been in politics for some time, and I think they understand even this game of opinion polls.
Yeah.
So I think they will have okay. Not you even when you are listening to them, you hear them saying, "Tuko na miaka mbili ya kufanya kazi, then we will sort out those issues of a campaign." So
Okay.
they will strategically touch on areas where the people will feel, because in Kenya, one day can make people to change their opinion completely. I don't know if you remember when Albert Ojwang news came to the to the limelight, and there was public anger across the country. And imagine if elections was being held that day, even in Homa Bay, nobody could have listened to William Ruto. And remember, it was immediately after Madaraka Day being held in Homa Bay. So people forgot about the Madaraka Day benefit, and now there was public anger, and people wanted to take action against him so that he can also feel whatever they are feeling. But right now, what wamesahau hiyo yote, people are now talking about some other things. So it shows you that in Kenya, Ruto is very smart. He will touch on areas where people will feel that, okay, now at least amefanya hii, and by doing that he will turn the thinking of the majority, because Kenyan voters, most of them are people who are not enlightened. Most of them are people who are not exposed. So very small things can really resonate with that, and that is what will make them say, okay, tunaona amejaribu, acha tumpatie muda time tena afanye nini, aendelee kufanya kazi. So I think if you ask me, I think they will be very strategic with what they will be doing, especially 1 year to election, and in the beginning of 2026 and also 2027, they will be addressing issues that people have been complaining about, and you will see them focusing on, even in this share that we are complaining about, and even education and so on and so forth, the funding and all these things in the education sector. They will try as much as they can to address those issues, so that people will relate with that and say that, okay, I've gone to hospital, at least Shime nisaidia, shule sasa wanasoma, so that the most of the people who are poor, who are dependent on these government services, will now say that now these things are working. Let us give the president another term so that he can continue working. Because I know they will not just sit there and wait to be defeated, because they understand this public anger out here. People are not happy with them. People are not happy with this government. People are complaining, and they know where things are not working. They understand. So I think they will try to do that so that they can whip the emotions of the ignorant voters, so that they can vote in their favor.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Barak. I'm also seeing Mr. Ayaga is here with us. I will also engage him. Makobura too is here with us. Before I engage Makobura and Ayaga, let me just come to Miguda. Miguda, we are looking at opinion polls, and from the look of things, is not doing any good favor to the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and it tends to go towards opposition. And the polls were saying that majority of Kenyans believe that the opposition will unite. Do you see opposition uniting from what actually is happening, whereby the Gunjiri, who has been a very strong critic of Rigathi Gachagua, was seen with Matiang'i when Matiang'i was having a consultative meeting with the Jubilee? Do you see them uniting, and forming a formidable force, the way the Tiffa survey says, or you don't see them? But if they don't unite, what is the repercussion that awaits them?
Okay, and I'm also allowed to give my opinion on the Tiffa, and also before I respond to your question, Tiffa also, you have said Raila is doing poorly, but the good news is the young man is doing good in the Tiffa poll. So you have skipped the discussion of Nairobi gubernatorial. The Tiffa placed Babu at 67%. Then the second one was Sakaja 13%. So Tiffa, let us do it holistically. Let us not look at only Raila things. So even if
we were looking at especially the main political, like we are looking at the UDA and UDA and ODM coming together to form a broad-based government. And also we're looking at the popularity of the two leaders, knowing very well that now they are working together. For the gubernatorial race, though, we can discuss it too. Hello, Mr. Migud.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay. This is a very good discussion, and my network is trying to.
Okay. Can you fix the network? Then I can invite you later. Hello, Mr. Migud. All right. Let me, as you fix your net. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Let me just try to. I
All
don't.
right.
Okay, I was saying.
Yes.
I just want to say one issue on Opunapol, the issue of opposition uniting.
Mm-hmm.
In opposition, we must also know that who is opposition, because not any Tom, Dick, and Harry is an opposition. Some people just come with political party, now they want to be opposition. No, opposition must be measured on how many people are following you, how many people can influence. Because if tomorrow I love my party and I'll be called opposition because I'm moving with them, but I don't have followers behind. So if you bring me the picture of Gunjiri Wambugu or whoever Gunjiri meeting Matiang'i, now they have spread. No, there are some people like Eugene. If you take Eugene out of opposition, there's no effect. You can say which figures should unite. Gachagua, Kalonzo, Raila. That's enough to form opposition. Gachagua, Kalonzo, Raila unity is a major factor to Ruto's presidency, because if Gachagua, Raila, Kalonzo unite, that alone will send Kasongo home early in the morning. But if you bring the issue of Matiang'i, Wajakoya, anybody can be opposition. So if leave alone Gunjiri meeting Kioni, Gunjiri meeting Matiang'i, that is not even effective in my view, because we must look at who is opposition and who can manage. Not that anybody can opposition. So people are taking advantage of that because we have political parties. We are even look at the issue, the Martha Karua effect. It is not effectful because even in Kirinyaga itself, she cannot command Kirinyaga. So if like Eugene, she can't command Western Kenya. If you must come to opposition, you must come with a significant number. That me, as Raila Odinga, I have this significant number. Gachagua as a number.
Okay, fix your.
As a number.
Maybe,
but
okay.
the other people like Gunjiri.
All right, good. I think you can. The reason why I was bringing about the issue of Gunjiri,
that the issue of. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, can you please fix your? Then you can come back.
Kalonzo, let me that you. I can just say. Okay. The issue of Kalonzo can just say. The issue of Kalonzo can just say, when people were going for demonstration, the Gen Z, Marco Bure will assist me. We were with him. The main reason why people demonstrate, because I was in the midst of the struggle. There was this introduction in a clause that the government was going to tax the content creators. They were introducing tax to the content creation industry. It was popular. That made Gen Z to protest. And during the protest, the Gen Z were very clear that Agwambo, kaa nyumbani. They never mentioned Kalonzo. So this issue whereby they are saying Kalonzo all of a sudden has just become popular. People are saying, Raila, watu wamekuzoea. Wamezoea kuiba kura yako. We kaa tu nyumbani, tung'oe huyu jamaa, tukuinstall. There was no discussion about Kalonzo. Kalonzo only happened when Gachagua now was in it, because it was Gachagua and Ruto in government. They said, let us push these people together. We bring in Raila Odinga. There was no discussion of Kalonzo Musyoka. So Kalonzo cannot just become popular all of a sudden. Today Kalonzo is a subject of discussion whereby now Kalonzo want to. No, Kalonzo was not in the picture. The person who was in the picture was Raila Odinga and William Ruto. And it's just by circumstances that has elevated him to be where he is. But in the real issue where we initiated our demonstration, there were two people, Raila, Ruto. And we were saying once we are done with him, we are going to install Raila. We say we are going to install him as the president. But now what happened? Things happen the way they are today. So Kalonzo was never in the picture. So right now,
Okay.
there's
Mhm.
no pretense that is popular to that extent that is a factor. Like what I've told you,
Mhm.
in the opposition, don't look
Mhm.
at any Tom, Dick, and Harry in that formation or anybody in the political party. Look at people who are followers and have made a very significant impact into the opposition. Not everybody.
So let me ask you, Miguda, before you leave. Can you just give us who is opposition? Because now you talk about numbers. You're bringing the issue of the numbers. So especially when you have a group of people, even as the media, sometimes we've had that media should be people who are putting the government on check. Opposition, which means that you are not supporting the government, or you tend to put the government on check. Does it also include the numbers?
What I'm trying to bring out here is who are the people who are going to represent who are the persons who are going to
Mhm.
represent the people to put the government in check or to form alliance to send Kasongo home. There must be figures. There must be people at the top
All
because
right.
look at ODM. Look at ODM. Just 1 minute. Look at ODM. ODM has MPs in Kisii and even the Kisii governor is ODM. Look at DCP. DCP split UDA in the central. Look at Wiper. Wiper's got representation in parliament. Look at parliament. Tukuna watu Wipers are in parliament, ODMs are in parliament. And look at Matiang'i. Who is a single MP following Matiang'i? Look at Eugene. Look at Gujiri. So look at there is no space for, I can say there's no space for joyriders whereby I have a political party. That's why we ended up with many principles from the same region, which I argued the other time that why must we have many people?
Okay. Miguda fix. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. You will later come back and after fixing your mic. Ayaga, how are you doing, sir?
I'm okay. How are you? And the
Um,
rest of the family?
we are doing fine, and thank you for joining. We've discussed quite a number of issues. We've started with the communication, especially on the government side, concerning the information that the president gave at the UNGA, especially the death of Kenyan police officer who was serving in Haiti. We talked about how the government could communicate. That is something we spoke about. We did also speak about the invitation of the Right Honorable Prime Minister to Kalonzo Musyoka, who, with that invitation from the pressure that Kalonzo had, he declined that invitation that he will be having a neck meeting the same day that celebration will be taking place. We are also talking about the Tiffa survey that was done, putting especially the popularity of the major political party, that is UDA and ODM, declining extremely. And what does that one mean for 2027? And maybe to you, if to where we are, you look at the survey that was done and putting the big parties, what does it one tell you, especially election of 2027 and even post 2027 about these big political parties, as Makubura will be holding in brief for me?
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me just answer some few question quickly. Then I rebuttal few questions here and there. Then I will catch up with the boat because I'm late. Unfortunately, I must ask for apology for being late. I wanted to at least today join early. Number one, the issue of Haiti. Those are the problem in this government, and I still wonder the people who still believe that this government will do wonders 1 year to election. I pity them. Not only pity. I wonder if their mental capacity. They have capability of seeing, listening, and sometimes even I don't know. So the issue of it, that guy died long time ago. He didn't die yesterday. Ruto is making money with everything. So that guy, I think, died long time ago, and the videos were all over. So he went again for United Nations so-called UNGA to happen for him to spice up the sympathy of the donors, the donating nations to donate money so that they can come back with money and squander when the family have been living in agony. Those are the simple things in this government. Even in America, they have their soldiers all over. Even in Yemen, in very war torn like Middle East, and even in Myanmar, the country used to called Burma, Amabama. So if they happen to lose, even in Afghanistan, when the attack happens and the soldier is dead, because soldiers are trained to do two things: to kill and to die. That is what a soldier is trained to do. When a soldier is dead, nowadays, I still wonder people who are saying Kenyans voters are illiterate at majority. I still wonder. Sometimes I sit down and I calculate because I'm a mathematician. My calculations tells me that the majority of voters, Kenya today, like 3/4 of voters who will be voting in 2027, they are born between 1990 up to around 2002. I don't know how these people are illiterate. I still don't know have that science. But maybe we are still living in 1985 when Moi was the president. And we have only one newspaper. We only have one television. We had one TV station, and newspapers could take 1 month to reach the villages. So, if you want to help the people who had lost their loved one, give that communication so quickly to have faith for the soldiers who are fighting. Deal with that issue in a good way that will at least help you to give or boost morale for the soldiers who are still fighting. The issue of Haiti, that guy died long time ago, so we don't want to speak about it. Let the matter rest there. The time will judge. Whatever Ruto speaks there are all lies. Is just looking for sympathy for money. Number two, I support Kalonzo Musyoka for not going for ODM. Yes, I'm an ODM member. But Ruto is a disparate human being. And as a man who loves politics deeply, there is this issue of AIC, African Inland Church. Kalonzo is a member of African Inland Church. And Ruto have been using that because he's also a member of African Inland Church. Hii evangelism yote alikuwa anadanganya nao Wakikuyu ni uongo. That guy is not evangelist. He's an African Inland Church. I don't know if they belongs to the group of evangelism, but the time will tell. So it's not the people like Moses Korea. Those people, Moses Nganga, the people you are. The evangelist, he doesn't belong there. So today the river is coming back to its line. William Ruto is a member of ANC, and they are using the ANC because the ANC started in Okambani before it went to Rift Valley. They have been using too much the pastors from the ANC to actually vote to convince Kalonzo Musyoka to work for him. They tried with Kindiki, it fails. They have tried through proxies, it has failed. And they were trying through the pastors. And I told Kalonzo, now I know that Kalonzo warned those pastors that he will not do those things. Now they wanted to use Raila Odinga. You know, Ruto is desperate. A moment Kalonzo will be there, they will take a picture and their bloggers will pick, pa! And from there, the bloggers will go on announcing things and blogging things that do not exist. So Kalonzo is smarter than them. Raila just made that statement because he knows very well that his popularity has gone down, and he acknowledged it. So that sometimes you be booed, sometimes you be talked against. Yeah, he has realized it. So that is the fact. So Kalonzo seeing with with Kalonzo, with Ruto, and the Ruto people will pick the pictures and start spreading propaganda. Kalonzo should not go there. That's my view of it. I support it. Ruto is desperate. He will parade the likes of Kalonzo, the likes of Ngilu, Nani, this one from Vega, Davadi, and they say, we are now Pentagon. We are reviving the Pentagon. Those are the things they will do in Mombasa. I'm here. We will discuss those nonsense when they have happened after that. So those are the issues that they want to revive there. And Kalonzo amewaona 18. So it is good that Kalonzo will not be there. Number two, we talk about Tiffa. Tiffa is very true. The mood in the country, if you call even a general election now, Ruto will go home unless ataiba. Now, if we are lying, his supporters, akina William, akina Oscar Sudi, akina Imolo Adikir, MP, Joanna Ngeno, wanasema watajaza because they know. Those are the William Ruto supporters. They know. Yeah? Hawezi shinda. So watajaza. Wakijaza watashindwa. So Tiffa, I don't have their talks, and Tiffa is the same. So if Tiffa is lying, maybe those people are also lying that they can win an election. They cannot. So it is true, even for ODM, even in Luo Nyanza, they have been gagging people. Even Orengo, they just gagged Orengo. Orengo was gagged. Yeah, Nyong'o have been gagged. There are so many people that have been just gagged in Luo Nyanza for speaking the truth. But if you go to the ground or go deep down the ground, it is true. ODM has lost the ground. And that's why they were doing those nonsense they were doing in Kasipul yesterday. If somebody has won with 18,000, why go and ban properties of somebody and their cars and attack that person who have been only getting 3,000? Why should you look for that person and beat and rough and do those nonsense for him? Why? If it is true, you have gotten what you have gotten. Why should you even look back for such people? If hata wakiungana, why should you go down to attack them? That tells you that because I have participated in ODM nominations, so I know how they do their nominations. So even those results are lies. They know it is lies. And maybe they will prove us wrong later in the day. So they will just use the state machineries to ensure, and terror, to ensure that that young man wins that by election. ODM will put everything down and ensure. And we did it before, and it works, and it will work this time around. But that doesn't mean that the popularity of the party is high. No, my friend, let us be truthful and correct in our argument. So I think I've answered your question, unless I left one or two. You
Okay.
can remind.
I don't know whether you can hear me. I don't know what happened to Marco Bura.
Yes, I can get you clearly.
Okay, thank you for that. And you've said that I was listening to you and say about what the Tiffa said. It is true, but now if you look at these bigger political parties beyond 2027, are you seeing any possibility of them existing beyond that, based on the fact that what is happening with the political terrain right now, with all these so many people who are dissatisfied with what the political is, especially with this bigger party, and with the coming of the Gen Z that most of the politicians keep on talking about? Do you see their existence, maybe in brief?
Yes, the party like ODM will exist. That one I can assure you. I don't know about UDA because I'm not a member. I will never be a member, and I will never support anything to do with those parties. The same way I never supported Jubilee, and I knew Jubilee is going nowhere, is dead. Even if they hand over it to Matiang'i, it is a kank, so Matiang'i can have it. So UDA is already dead. So I can't talk about anything that is dead. But ODM will be there. But I can tell you, even in the Western Kenya, it is high likely that Oparanya will have a party that will cut the bigger chunk of ODM in the Oparanya, the Osotsi, the Sifonas of this world. They may cut off the rest of Western Kenya from ODM, and the writings are on the wall. In Kisii, the Kisis have decided. I don't think they're in ODM anymore. They are not. And if somebody lied to us that they're in ODM, that's why Simbarati embraced Matiang'i first. Even if he's just playing ground with Raila Odinga, he embraced Matiang'i and even welcomed Matiang'i in Gusii Stadium. He knows that is what the ground is saying. He may lose to Onyonka because Onyonka has never lost election in Kisii, even with a party that is not even known. Onyonka is not a small fish. If Onyonka runs against Arati and backed with Matiang'i, with the declining support of Raila Odinga and ODM in Gusiland, I can tell you one term for Simba Arati will be more likely than anything else.
Okay.
But for now, with the Tiffa, if you look at Tiffa and what is now happening in Africa, you know, we the people who are saying majority of Kenyans are illiterate, they will vote like their grandfathers, the way their grandfathers voted in 1990, in 1989. They are very wrong. Look at the Africa today. You know, there is a belief in Africa that a president cannot lose. A president cannot be made one term. I think they should look at Malawi, Botswana, and Ghana. And we should sit down and ask ourselves if those countries are in Australia or Europe.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I mean, Mr. Barak, let me ask you, especially again, we are still on the Tiffa polls. With currently what is happening, because like the major political parties that people are in focus is about the ODM and Jubilee. I mean ODM and UDA. But when you come to ODM, there's a division amongst themselves. There are those who are fully into the government, who support the re-election of President William Ruto, and those who are not, especially when you look at the Sifuna wing and you have also the Wanga wing. And what even more confusing, when the Right Honorable came out, the Prime Minister came out and said that we've not reached a decision that we are not going to reach a decision that we are not going to fill in a candidate for 2027. You know, with all this, will this one also be informed of uncertainty that they have in the political party, that they are losing that popularity, or this is that's like the political playing of as usual? So there's nothing that we can read in it.
Well, I think, you know, Brother Ben, political parties are very key institution for a democracy to grow.
Yep.
And the reason why in Kenya our democracy has been having challenges is because our political parties are more of individuals based instead of being institutions. And you see, lack of party discipline undermines even the political party institution itself. And that is why you see a strong party like ODM is behaving like a Tower of Babel, where this person is saying this one, the party leader is saying the other thing, the SG is saying this way, chairperson is saying the other one. So we find that there is no clarity even to the members themselves. They are not sure what is happening within the party and where the party is heading. And that's a very dangerous thing for maturity of democracy. And if you look at the political parties in Kenya, political parties in Kenya have been behaving like special purpose vehicles for either acquiring power or maintaining power. And that is why you see they are more attached to individuals. And the decisions that political parties make are more attached to individuals who are the so-called party leaders, as opposed to institution of the political party, where we have clear communications based on structures of the political party. If you look at the mature democracies, a political party's decision is communicated with from the structures that are in place, and no member of the political parties can go against. Is either if they are not comfortable, they just resign from that party. But in Kenya, because we have not really strengthened our institutions of political parties, members will just be saying one thing today and they are not leaving, and the leaders are saying the other thing. And that is the normal, and that's why we cannot develop or grow our political parties compared to other democracies. And I don't see that stopping anytime soon, because even if you look at the political parties that we have right now, the one that we say they are major political parties. If you look at ODM, is associated with the party leader. If you remove the party leader from ODM, it's like the party will just collapse. Same with UDA, and if Ruto comes from UDA today, UDA will just be dead. If you look at now DCP, the newly formed DCP, it's just about Rigathi Gachagua. We look at Wiper, it's just about Kalonzo. So political parties are based on individuals, and whatever they say or whatever they want, it is deemed as the position of the political or of the party. So you find that other members are just there as flower girls, but their positions are not really taken into considerations, because the political parties are run based on their leaders' wishes, and they are run as just Viosk, the Mamamboga Viosk. So that is why we are having a serious challenge of growing political parties, and people will prefer to go and open and launch another political party instead of growing the ones that we have, because the ones that we have, they are privately owned by the leaders of those specific political parties. And whether in terms of the popularity, I think it is obvious that since ODM was formed in 2005, the first election that they went on in 2007, they performed very well. And now, if you look at the subsequent elections that have been happening, the popularity of ODM has been going south after each and every election. Because if you compare 2007 to 2013, the popularity reduced. 2013 to 2017, the same thing. 2017 to 2022, the same thing. And even 2022 2027, if ODM is going to perform poorly compared to the way it performed 2022. So that's a fact. And I don't think there's anything they can do right now to salvage that, because of the realignment of the political landscape that we have in this country. Back to you, Mark.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Barak, and our good friend Eric Ayaga, for finding time to join us this evening. We really appreciate. I also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge our viewers, Sami Costa at the comment section, Judith Caretha, Kennedy Sankara, not forgetting Tony Cruz, Philip Menace, Thomas Ugendo. Thank you so much for finding time to join us. We really appreciate. This is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. Eric, I don't know whether you gave your view on Kalonzo, where he declared that I won't be anyone's running mate. Kalonzo has ruled out playing second fiddle in 2027. He is calling on opposition leaders to back his presidential bid. Of course, this sets up showdown with Raila, Matiang'i, and other contenders who are who have always been seen as the opposition leaders. Eric, you'll give us your take on that, and then you can as well give us your take on the president's visit to United States, where he met the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, where they talked on issues focusing on Haiti's security crisis and leadership role that Kenya is playing in that particular country in their quest of bring back peace and governance in that particular country. You can also give us your take on Wetangula's comments against divisive politics, where he praised Kenya Kwanza's economic revival in his statement, and he's also urging leaders to stop trading insults and focus on development. He's also saying that youth empowerment and agricultural reforms are very key that leaders need to focus if really they want to empower the youths. Eric, I think you came late, so I think maybe you are not given your views. You can also give us your take on Rigathi Gachagua's tough conditions for Mount Kenya support, where he wants aspirants to meet strict demands to earn the Mount Kenya votes. Part of it is being loyal to the people, listening to the ground, and so forth. And according to him, he's targeting around 7 million votes in 2027. And of course, he's rallying the region early. Eric,
Yes,
what is it?
yes. Thank you very much, my brother. I can, I can hear you properly. So let me start with the Kalonzo issue. Declining, I think I have spoken about it, and I gave a reason why Kalonzo must not attend that. Even if I was advising Kalonzo Musyoka, I could have told him not to attend because Ruto is looking for photos. He will be there. Yeah, Ruto is there. Ngilu will be there. Joe Nyaga will be there. Nani, this one from Viega, Salia will be there, and other people, and they will fool people. You know, Ruto is good in fooling people. Fool people about sijui Pentagon, sijui nonsense, sijui blah blah blah. Those things will not work for them. So Kalonzo should walk out of those things, and that is the fact. And the only person that um, root of fear is Kalonzo Musyoka. You know, many people. I had Megoda was saying, you know, when the Gen Zs, the name of Kalonzo was not mentioned, it was only Raila and Ruto. It is true. You know, Kalonzo, the last time he ran for presidency is 2007. The people who were born then are aging 20 years in 2 years' time, and they will be voters. The people who were born when Kalonzo last ran for presidency, they will be voters in 2027, and they have a very good majority number. So they have not known Kalonzo Musyoka as a presidential candidate. And that is the truth. I think the people who are doing calculations should do. And the majority of those people are not illiterate. Majority of them, at least the minimal education they have is Form 4. So that's why they are feared and revered at the same time. So Kalonzo Musyoka, the name cannot pop up when you are not in a leading presidential candidate. So he is being built from the ground. Anakuja hapo juu, which is very dangerous for William Ruto. So the only person William Ruto feared is Kalonzo Musyoka. With the Ukambani solidly behind Kalonzo, backed with the Central Kenya, Kalonzo Musyoka, that's alone, Kalonzo Musyoka can win the presidency. Because if you look at the voting pattern, you know, people just talk. Luos, we try, yes, but we don't vote like the people like of Central Kenya. Even in last election, when Raila was the presidential candidate, and Kalonzo was not even the deputy to Raila Odinga, Have you ever looked at the Kamba turnout? They are more than us from Nyanza, and that is the truth. So, suppose their son is on the ballot and backed with the Central Kenya who hate and want William Ruto out, that is a disaster. So the only person William Ruto is looking for is not even Raila Odinga, is Kalonzo Musyoka, because he knows that damage. The people from Central Kenya can say, now we are going to back you with all our votes, plus the little you have in Lower Eastern or the Southern Mount Kenya, the way they call it. That ticket, backed with a few people from Western like Natembea, Oparanya, and the rest, and with the support of Kisi, that ticket is very dangerous. The Kalenjin are not voting like the people of Central Kenya. They don't even vote like Luos. And if you give the Kalenjin nation, not Rift Valley, I told people there is a Kalenjin nation, then there is Rift Valley. Kalenjin nation only have Uasin Gishu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Nandi, Kipsigis, and Kericho, the 5 counties. That's where they are solid. Nakuru, they are not there, like for 50, 40%. Same to West Pokot, that is a swing vote area, and Turkana, and Kajiado, and Narok and Samburu. They have never supported William Ruto the same way people look like. The way they vote is totally different. So the people who are just looking at Rift Valley as if that Rift Valley belongs to Ruto, they are very wrong. So looking at the patterns, even in Turkana, as we speak in 2022 when Ruto was a leading candidate, the governor there is ODM. And 2 or 3 MPs are ODM. Then there is a Jubilee, there is other parties. Same to West Pokot, where there is also ODM. Then you come to Trans Nzoia, which forms the part of Rift Valley. Then if you go to Narok, Kajiado, those are ODM strongs, or even in Samburu, where and Narok, where they buried Len Kempunen the other day. So if you minus that so-called Rift Valley, if you remove, even in Laikipia, it's a Kikuyu zone. If you remove these 5 constituencies, 5 counties, that forms the Kalenjin nation, and give them to 4 Luo constituency counties, William Ruto is not yet to be a president. Even if you add with Oria, the people like Ndwale, they are being voted with 7,000, 8,000. And then they become MPs. Go to their results. The MP from Northeastern, is it called Eastern or Northeastern province? MPs there, they only win election with 9, 12, and the person who is following with the 10, and they don't reach even 50 in a constituency. And that is the pattern. So the only person who is feared by William Ruto is Kalonzo Musyoka. If he will manage to bring Kalonzo Musyoka in his side, he's sure of winning. But Raila is like a vehicle the tires have been inflated. Raila only remains with Luo Nyanza. With a majority like us, we will not vote for William Ruto. So it will be very difficult for him. So Ruto is looking for PR stance in that ODM thing, and you will say, you will tell people how his ODM found a member and they can discipline people like Sifuna. Those are the things he will go to say there. So that will not help him. Another question you asked was about Rigathi Gachagua saying, we have the unity of Central Kenya. Yes, but that is good for him. For me, I don't support him because I know the vote is going away with his William Ruto's. If there is somebody, I'm sure, cannot take even 1% of Raila Odinga's vote or Azimio's vote, is Rigathi Gachagua. So whatever votes is working away with this William Ruto's, and I'm happy, and that's why sometimes I support him. He should do what he's doing. He's on a right trajectory. We must also wish him well. He may be the president of this country sometimes in future. So we must go that direction and ensure that the time we are going, if ODM truly will have an agreement with UDA, we will ask them. Now you have five counties, which is Uasin Gishu. You are sure with Uasin Gishu. You are sure with the Nandi, Elgeyo Marakwet, Kericho, and Kipsigis. Now tell us, ODM at least have 4 in Nyanza, have another one in Busia, have another one in Kisii and Nyamira. We have Nairobi, we have Mombasa, we have Kilifi, we have Kwale, we have Tana River, we have Taita Taveta, we have Kwale, we have some Turkana. So how can we support? How can we come with like 10, 15 counties to support a candidate who only have 5? Surely it will be overruled and say, a river cannot join a tributary. It is the tributary that joins the river. So I think that is the point of discussion, and I wish them well. For me, I will not support this. Not support whatever Rigathi is doing. Whatever he's doing is good for him and for them in UDA, and it is good for us in ODM. And anybody who have a problem with that has been lying of supporting Raila Odinga. A true supporter of Raila Odinga must be happy with what Rigathi Gachagua is doing. You also spoke about the serial liar. William Ruto go and met Sijui Rubio, and they spoke about what? Remind me of what they spoke about.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so they talked about IT security and the crisis that is there, and of course Kenya's role in bringing back the peace and good governance in that particular country, and he also confirmed a new US-Kenya trade deal that is near completion, where they are focusing on issues of bringing some development.
Okay, okay. For Kenya, because you can't factor. You can't go to a war where you are not a beneficiary. What they should tell us as Kenyans is only one thing. How is Kenya benefiting in stabilizing Haiti when Kenya is not even stable as a country? You can't go and lead somebody's home.
Eric, I don't know whether you're there. Can you hear me? I think Eric is having some problems with this network. To our viewers, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. We do focus on issues of politics and governance, and more of what we do here are conversations that are geared towards the empowerment of our people. And that is what we do discuss. Eric, can you hear me? Oh, sorry, I think Eric is having a problem. Yeah, so to our viewers, kindly, if you're watching us for the first time, just like and subscribe. It is a way of supporting us. Na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. And I don't know whether our good friend is coming back or He's not coming back. Yeah. So part of what we've discussed tonight, of course, one, the issue of Kalonzo Musyoka, where he declares that he won't be running anyone's running mate, where he has ruled out playing second fiddle in 2027. He's calling on opposition leaders to back his presidential bid. He has also set up a showdown with Raila, Matiang'i, and other contenders, all those people who are going for presidential, all those presidential candidates. And then we've also talked about Ruto meets U.S. Secretary of State, is Honorable Marco Rubio, where they talked. Talks focused on IT security crisis and Kenya's leadership role in Haiti. Ruto also confirmed a new US trade a deal which is of course near completion. Not forgetting, we've also given our views on Wetangula, where he warned against divisive politics. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Masika Wetangula, praised Kenya Kwanza. He praised Kenya Kwanza's economic revival. He urged the leaders to stop insulting and focus on development. Eric, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. I think I had a hitch with my internet. So I was saying the Haiti deal, we should sit down as a country and ask ourselves, what is the benefit? Why is do you know the United States, before they go to do to support any country in terms of military or any intervention, they must look at their benefits, what benefit them as United States. That's why they couldn't go to Haiti. This is the country that I had President Trump speech. He said that their country have the best military capability that no other country have in the world. And nobody objected because that seems to be true. But when it comes to Haiti, they fooled Kenyans to go and lead that mission, not them. So sometimes let us be serious. The problem of Haiti started with France. They are the people who created all this nonsense to Haiti. Yeah. So they should be the leading, because I saw France speaking about Lebanon when they were being bombarded, when the Israel is bombing Lebanon, because that is their former colony. They speak about it, but Haiti they don't speak about. So I don't see Haiti and Kenya, how the Haiti mission is helping Kenya. We are just losing our soldier when our politicians or our leaders are busy making money. So it is a very wrong thing, and it can't be. Even if Ruto meet Trump himself to discuss that, the same way Biden fooled him, so it is wrong. We should get out of that war. The war that is not. How many oil? How many jobs? How many? What do we export to Haiti that we must be there? Those are the questions actually we need to ask. So if there is a zero, we should ask ourselves, and why are we, number one, getting involved where we don't benefit as a country, as a people? So it is a war that is, even if it is won, whatever, is not helping Kenya. So I think that is a very waste of time and resources, and even human resource and blood. For Wetangula have been the worst speaker we have in the history of this country. Very worst. I think we never have a speaker who indulge himself into politics like Moses Masika Wetangula. Very worst. Very, very worst. So I don't even want to speak about him. Let him do politics, and we shall speak about that, and time will prove us wrong later in the day. And let me answer this guy called Cosmas. Anaitwa Cosmas Simeon. If he believes in those tsunami of William Ruto and Raila Odinga, for me, I don't believe on those things. In my village where I come from, maybe he's not coming from a village. So me, I come from a village. In my village, a snake do not bite twice. In 2022, I want to remind Cosmas that we were fooled with the deep state, the system, and the power, and we still lost. And it is William Ruto himself. The only truth I always say William Ruto told this world that for you to be elected, it is people and God. If God has left you, you kidnap and kill people's kids like hen. Can't have God. If the people everywhere you go, you fear them, singing one term up to a moment where you gerrymander the Chan supporters by only getting the crooks who you sell them the ticket to go and fill a stadium to sing your song because you fear your own people. You don't have people. So if you think tsunami a natural occurrence that kills a lot of people can be manifested in a political nature to sweep Kenyans, either they kill them or whatever, you will believe with your tsunami. You have your tsunami, me let me have myself and be myself. But what I know, one time is real. We have been told so many stories that Africa, you can't have sitting president can't lose. We are now seeing them losing. I think those are the serious things we need to discuss. That maybe perhaps Africa is changing rather than talking about tsunami. You are taking me to Raila Odinga of 2007, and the people who are born in 2007 will be 20 years in 2027 na watapiga kura, na ni shauri yako na hizo tsunami. Wewe bado umebelieve na kufuata. Ile ilikuwa wakati ile I was sijui 13 years old. So if you still believe in political tsunami, Simeon, have them with your soberness, maybe your age. Believe what I believed in 2007. Thank you very much. I think I will rest my case there, and Makubura, we shall talk, I think tomorrow or perhaps. Nilikwambia hii wiki nitakuwa mtaa.
Eric, maybe one thing, just your take before you leave. I don't know, there's something that has been trending about, if you remember the game that was played, was it last Sunday? And some young boys stepping on Kenyan flag. And it's one thing that has really sparked a lot of, brought forth a lot of debate. And, people are giving different views. I even saw, we saw the ambassador, Somali ambassador, coming out to say sorry for that particular incident. But again, even while he was giving that his remark, Kenyan flag was also upside down, placed in an upside down manner. That again brought a lot of conversation on the social media. What can you say before you leave? You can also give us your last remarks.
Okay, thank you very much. Number one, I will say those guys, those young guys. I don't think those guys have even attained the age of 18 or 16. Probably they are 16, 17 or 18. For that, I can say they are ignorant and they don't know what they were doing. For me, I can say as a parent, yeah. But because today, that's why I'm talking about the people who are going to vote in 2027. These people are very sensitive and they are very enlightened. And I'm very sorry for people who are saying, majority of Kenyans who are going to vote are illiterate. They think our mothers and our fathers and our grandfathers are the minority today. And that's where the literacy really lies. And we don't apologize. That was nature. It is them. And we are not our fathers. And we are not our grandmothers. So, and we can't blame them. That was how they were brought up. These people, most majority of them were born under the colonial system of rule. So they were oppressed, and that was their life. But for us, a little thing can be made a very big thing just by a mere mistake of two adolescents boys who reason in a very bad way. So, and such pressure, when it mounts, it brings confusion even to the old people. That's why I fear the election of 2027, because I always believe that a small thing will even turn these people. When this Gen Z, they brought the heat, because we have seen what they can do. They have proved themselves in Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Kenya, and other countries. They have proved themselves. And even in Malawi, the people who voted for that old man called Peter Mutharikwa, the former president and the former son to sijui ni the second or third president, Bill Mutharikwa, the people who voted for him are these young people. So how did they get the information? From the social media. So for me, I can forgive them. These guys are very young. Even if you want to punish them, give them the light punishment or the juvenile punishment, and let us not create issues between our country and Somali. And to make matter worse, we have the Somali people who are Kenyans. Now, people want us to push to have a problem with a tribe that is Kenyan, Somali. We have those two adolescents people and then make it a tribal issue. We should not go that direction. If these two people made a mistake, let us arrest them, deal with them, or deport them to their country. Because we should not create, because I've seen it, niliyaona online. Sasa watu wana create issues like we want to make it look like now it is the rest of Kenya with the Somali. And finally, this issue is coming because of these Jubaland forces in our country. Makobura, I feel like there is a deliberate attempt by the Kenyan government to delay election in 2027. They will postpone it. This is just my own assessment as somebody who is sometimes I get some little informations from some quarters. There is a deliberate attempt, because when the part of country will be at a loggerhead, let me not say at war, at a loggerhead, you can't hold an election. We may postpone the election. Some people who feared being beaten in election maybe are doing it deliberately. And that thing, I think our intelligence is part of it. And they are driving that agenda. And the people are now hating the Somali community. And they may be attacked everywhere, and even in the city. And they will react from north to Nairobi, and we may have a good reason to postpone the election. Let us not be stupid. Those are two young boys, adolescents. We should deal with them. Maybe they don't even have IDs. They don't even have their high school or college, whatever. Even if they have IDs, they are college students. Let us call those people, those young people to order. Tell them you have to respect a flag, coat of arm, and that of another country. Every time you're there, ensure you behave decently. Let us not create a room for a trap that have been set for some people to postpone the election in 2027 because they fear losing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much to our viewers. Thank you so much for finding time to be with us this evening. We really appreciate, and we hope that you're doing good. And to take this opportunity to wish you all well, to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much. See you again tomorrow.